This is Cinema and Save Points. We're pretty much just going to be shooting from the hip, talking about whatever we feel like talking about.
This came up from the other night. I finally watched Batman vs. Superman. And
I'm sorry.
I didn't go in with high hopes because I knew how DC handled movies. Like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies were great.
I like the Batmobile on the new Batman vs. Superman.
The thing is, there was a lot in that movie that I'm like, this had potential, but they were given
too much.
Everything felt rushed. Nothing.
Oh
felt
yeah,
like it was.
There was too much trying to go into one movie. I think.
Yes.
They were put. I mean,
and as little as we needed another Batman origin story, I think Ben Affleck would have done. I liked Ben Affleck as Batman.
Absolutely.
I think he portrayed Batman well. And he portrayed Bruce Wayne well for what they were given. Like what he was given.
Yeah,
I don't think he was a well-written Batman necessarily.
Can I interject just a question? Have you seen Suicide Squad?
I have not. I have no desire to.
Well, if you ever just happen to,
I likely will because I guarantee my roommates are going to pick it up on DVD and I'm going to get bored at some point.
Batman is in that, and a little bit more, a few scenes, a couple here and there. But even he's portrayed, I think, better in that and more to a true Batman, than even he was in Batman v Superman.
Let's say, and the thing is, I think he would have benefited greatly from having his own movie. It didn't have to be an origin story. You didn't have to show the parents getting killed and becoming Batman.
I was fine how they did it.
Literally anything else.
It's Gotham City. Just have this leads into that. Just jump from Gotham City into Ben Affleck's Batman.
Right.
Just something to let him set up the character. Because like I said, like you said, everything's just crammed in. So there's the first half of the movie. There's no cohesion. It's just this scene, this scene, this scene, this scene, this scene. All right,
Wonder Woman.
What? Right.
What?
And I'm glad because I've seen that she's getting her own movie.
Mm-hmm. Which I think was great. That looks good to me. Well, actually, I was very surprised at how good it was.
That is her origin movie.
And that's as much as I hate Superman as a character, because I didn't see the first.
I fell asleep
Superman
watching it. It was just.
I thought the guy that they got did a great job playing Superman in that.
Yeah,
like, that was pretty good. It was, again,
Superman
the writing.
Like, if you're going to talk about the Superman Return movie was completely garbage, and for portraying the Superman in Man of Steel, I think they went a good route with that. It was a dark, more sinister.
Yeah, it's supposed to be more realistic as much as it can be.
And I applaud that, and then it's they screwed around with Superman so much. It's beyond repairable now. And it's okay, now we're going to make Batman vs. Superman. And then now, the Justice League movie, it's you killed Superman, but he's coming back.
He's obviously coming back.
Right.
There's
the thing is, what they did with that, with Doomsday killed Superman, that is the death of Superman. Mm-hmm. He comes back from that in the comics, but that's how it happens, and not exactly how it happens in the comics.
Right.
That's an adaptation of the comics. Like I said, everything in that felt rushed, and the thing that I posted was, DC makes too good of shows to justify such crap movies that they keep putting out. Because, Green Lantern was the same way. That movie was just poorly written, poorly directed. Bats vs. Superman was poorly written, poorly directed. And it's not like there weren't redeeming qualities, I expected more out of such a huge company.
I felt with the Green Lantern they could have done more, or it could have been, that whole thing could have been just squashed, and he didn't need the glowing chest.
No, they went too far with it. On Green Lantern.
It was a simple suit with
what I think
with the green aura around him, and then the.
I don't think they should have gone with Hal Jordan as the Green Lantern as their starting point.
A lot of people said that too.
Yeah, a lot of people said that.
Hal Jordan. He's the first real Green Lantern. He's not the first Green Lantern because the first one was this vastly different character. But he's the first real Green Lantern, and I understand why you would want to go with that. But there were too many other good options. I'm super glad they didn't go with Kyle Rayner because I hate Kyle Rayner because that's the dumbest thing I've seen in comics. Just super overpowered.
I forget what's the other guy's name.
What, right?
No. There was talking about going with a different Green Lantern for the next reboot. I can't remember who they were going to use.
The guy who says we're gonna cancel the apocalypse.
It
was in the one. I can't remember what movie he was in though. But
there haven't been too many Green Lanterns, but there were other things that they could have done with that, and again, that ended up everything just kind of felt rushed. But DC does a great job with their shows, and a lot of it is updating characters. I understand that those are the networks that control that. So like,
right.
But that's ridiculous to me.
Gotham is controlled by Fox. It's still good. Got its high and low points, but
oh yeah,
Arrow has had its high and low points, but still a great show. It was a great flagship show for what the CW.
What season
was
is
trying to
Arrow
do.
on right now? They're
Arrow's on 5. I think they're.
This is the last year they'll be able to flash back.
And I was wondering about that too. I'm like, what are they gonna do?
I think this might be the last season.
Are they gonna?
Was it Jon Stewart?
Yes. Yes.
The black one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
No,
That's
he
what I
was
was
amazing,
thinking.
and I think we might have a small bias about that because he was the one in the Justice League that we grew up with.
Mhm.
So, but he
Actually,
was also,
the one I watched and saw was the actual Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, and then it was him in the newer Green Lantern. But yeah, he did. It was a good transformation.
He,
from
I think, had a lot of character depth, and you know, he was just a solid solid individual all around.
Cartoons were dating.
Really?
Yeah.
We need that for a little bit.
Yeah, for a little bit.
What I think, like with the movies themselves, is there's a good, especially Batman v Superman. There's a good movie in there.
Hmm?
They took a lot out that they shouldn't have. They cut it down way too much. That's why a lot of people actually say if you watch the director's like extended cut that they released, that is because they switched scenes around, they added things, and that's a better movie.
Look
than
what
I
the
watched
Deadpool.
it. That's what I watched.
Oh, and it's still.
Even though
So
this
don't
is-
watch the
even
regular
though
one.
this is Marvel, look what they do. Deadpool. They went into it with no expectations of
But
it
that was-
actually coming out on top.
But that was a different
that was a
animal,
passion
though.
project for
Yeah.
somebody who genuinely wanted to do that well. Like Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds knocked that out of the park.
Mhm.
Like,
Well, and we've done our
like they even made
non-spoiler review for
yeah,
Batman v
they-
Superman and a spoiler review I think for Deadpool. And we talked about that kind of stuff that Ryan Reynolds had been wanting to do it for forever. That's the director for Deadpool 2 actually just left the project because he wanted to make it bigger budget and change the style of it a little bit and how it was written and the comedy a little bit more. And basically Ryan Reynolds was like, no, like we want to keep it like, you know, a similar movie and just do another one. He wants to keep it because that's what made it successful.
It's like the studio couldn't afford 2 more X.
Let's say, that movie was solid because it was what fans were expecting.
Mhm.
I also think it did as well as it did because there's a lot of hype on Deadpool that he doesn't necessarily deserve. Not saying he's not a good character, but
Right.
it's
It's just-
he became the fanboy latch-on character.
Oh, yeah.
And,
He's fun to like. You
Yeah.
know, he's a fun character.
I want to say that he's like the adult version of our a superhero that we would want. Like
Right.
Iron Man and Hulk and all those guys are like kid hang-ons and stuff like that. Like you don't really hear people be like, you hear people say like, oh, Iron Man's my favorite, but Deadpool's the shit though.
Right, like
But
Deadpool's
Deadpool's
also not a hero.
Bro,
He's
That's true, that's
entirely
true.
neutral. Like, the only reason he was the good
I
guy
call
in that
that-
movie was
I
because
call him anti-hero.
Yeah.
Like anti-heroes type.
The-
Like he does his own thing. Yeah, he'll help you,
the
but
thing is,
not
like,
really.
the Punisher is an anti-hero
Anti-hero.
because he is still technically supposed to be the good guy. He fights the bad guys. That is his entire purpose. He just does it
Deadpool's
in a
just
way
like-
that might not be considered good to
Yeah.
most people.
Right.
Deadpool just getting revenge.
Deadpool will do whatever somebody pays him to do,
Right.
which is not like, I think that also helps make him a fun character because you never know what to expect.
Yeah.
He can show up on either side of the fight, and sometimes he shows up and fights for the good guys just because the bad guy pissed him off.
But jumping back to the Suicide Squad, I know you're probably not ever gonna watch it, but the Joker in that, just stop and make William fucking Dafoe the Joker already. Be done with it.
Ugh.
That's all I gotta say is just be done with it. I see him as a Joker, like an older version, not like.
Yeah, I think he could be great. He looks like the Joker from the Arkham games.
Right.
And
I want to say that it would help in the sense of him playing the Joker, like if even him and Ben Affleck did a movie together, because Ben Affleck's an older Batman.
I don't hate the idea of what Jared Leto did with the Joker. The problem is, I've read a couple of articles. Crack did a great article on it, and why Heath Ledger's Joker ruined comic book movies. And it's because he was so perfect, because he was crazy, very obviously crazy, but it was dark, it was twisted, but it was still subtle. He wasn't over the top with it in the most over the top way.
Yeah.
He was the one who put it to that point. Every villain in every movie since then has to be crazy and weird. And that's one of the problems with Batman vs Superman was Lex Luthor was crazy and weird. Look at my insane plan. That is not Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor and the Joker are supposed to be polar opposites.
Heath Ledger opened the gate to like weirdism until like the Dark Knight, and it was just like he did it felt like almost like the comic books itself to me when he played the Joker, because that's what we read and see, and the Joker's like completely, absolutely like nuts.
Well, yeah, you didn't. The thing is, he portrayed it like the subtleties of it. It was, do I look like a guy with a plan? That line, really famous. He is. He had an incredibly, thoroughly thought out plan.
Yeah, if you actually thought
but
he
made everybody think that he was just flying off the cuff and doing things just randomly and for no apparent reason.
And that's why I feel like he did a really phenomenal job.
He was amazing. Nobody will be able to top that. But the problem is, people think that now the key to success is just to make your villains as crazy and out there as possible, to make them just complete wild cards, and it's not true. Lex Luthor is a terrifying villain because he might not be the most sane person, but he is stable as fuck because he knows he has that plan. He's got this plan and 18 backup plans, contingencies for it, and he's got
he's like an evil version of Batman without that.
And they gave effectively an almost Lex Luthor-like plan in the movie for him, but they didn't have him do any setup for it. That just kind of
he just showed up in the movie. He just showed up like Bruce Wayne, Superman, and
say there was a lot of potential there, and it was one of those ones where they just kind of they tweaked it just wrong, and I was like, they were so close.
I was mad at the fact that with the Lex Luthor character is that they made him go insane. Lex Luthor wasn't a crazy, outgoing, crazy guy. He was manipulative. He was straightforward. He normal and act normal. Like he became president in one of the comic book series. Like you can't be an off the wall crazy guy and become a president.
I don't know if they were.
Okay, never mind. I retract
my statement.
I retract my previous statement.
I think I don't know if they were trying to get past all that because they were making it like Lex Luthor Jr. It's supposed to be his son. So they can say, okay, well, yes, that Lex Luthor has these other characteristics because that's not actually
the problem is like,
you know,
that wasn't
trying to justify it, but
that wasn't actually established that he was Lex Luthor. That he is,
because none of the stuff that they did would make any sense. Like Superman's still a young Superman, but where's Lex Luthor?
No, it's a generational thing. I mean, I guess you could
because look how old Batman was.
Say you could read into like the fact that the villain was the younger generation coming in. You could read a lot into the subtleties of that, but I don't want to give the writers of that movie credit for that.
They made that up. They thought about it real hard.
Yeah, they did.
There was so much that I'm like, this was almost a good movie. It was like they skirted right on the line of good for most of the movie. They dipped over a couple of times. Like there were a couple of great scenes when Wonder Woman shows up to help him fight Doomsday, and they're all just kind of sitting there like, is she with you?
But the problem with that is that they put it in the fucking trailer.
Yeah.
That's the problem, because they had to put something good in the trailer.
That's the thing, is that's another thing
half-naked
movies
woman
do that
showing up
bother
in
the
battle.
crap out of me now.
The fact that they won't cross over or at least make your DC shows your movies, use the same actors, the same stories, just give Flash a movie. What's the problem?
That kid who's playing the Flash.
He's amazing. He's
as Barry
amazing.
Allen. He is perfect.
And now that the Flash they got for the Justice League, it's like, who is this guy? What's his backstory? Why is
I
this
almost,
thing in
on
an
principle,
basement?
I don't want to see him.
Right.
It's
Well,
just
the thing is, like, they're making him. He's supposed to be Barry Allen, and like the small scene you get with him and Bruce Wayne, where he's like super awkward and stuff like that. Barry Allen is awkward, but the kid plays it wonderfly. That kid in the movie, like the guy from the show, I can't remember the actor's name.
I'm not sure even.
Plays it wonderfully, but the kid in the movie, he just seemed like hermited and can't deal with society kind of thing. And
That's not the
congratulations.
Do
Thanks
they
for
do
trying
it?
to make him the extreme nerd stereotype. I appreciate that.
And it's like not he like
Grant Gustin? Grant Gustin?
Gustafson.
I don't even know. Grant. His name's Grant.
His name's
He's
amazing.
in that show.
like he's
And
like
he would be like you could also pull the guy that plays Oliver Queen in a little bit. Like set them up in the movie. Give them
Stephen
a
Amell.
chance.
well,
Yeah.
I
Give
feel
them a chance at a
They
movie
could just
universe.
make a Flash Arrow movie. I mean, they put them together constantly in the shows. Just
well, they're doing another mesh up actually.
oh, they're doing a 4-episode, 4-night long Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and
Supergirl's on that now.
I don't even try. There's too
It's-
much. I can't.
I watch
tried-
all.
Like I might give Supergirl. I'll probably give Supergirl a try. But like
It's not that bad. It's
Legends
I
of
hear
Tomorrow, I couldn't do it.
I
That was
did. I watched.
Was it?
some of
We watched a little bit of it, and there's too many shows.
I shouldn't
Is
say
the problem.
I shouldn't say it's awful. It just doesn't. It doesn't fit. I don't like that they took characters out and the way that they did it. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel right.
Right.
Nothing about it feels right.
I think since they're doing the mashup in it, I think they're doing like a mini Justice League now with like their little mashups.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what that is almost. It's. Hello.
Final note for you though.
Yes.
What character would you like to DC or Marvel even? What non-major, even major that doesn't get enough credit, would you like to see get its own movie? Get
Yeah, that's
its
another
own
point you
thing.
brought up in your post you made. I don't know because I don't know. I'm not that like.
Hawkeye.
Say Hawkeye. I think there was some talk about him getting a movie.
I would love it if Hawkeye got his own movie if it wasn't fucking what's his face. Yeah. If Jensen Ackles, the dude from Supernatural, Dean, he was supposed to play Hawkeye and he turned it down.
They're talking about giving him
They
the
turned
Green
it
Lantern
down.
role. They're talking about giving him the Green Lantern role.
I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm okay with that. But
there is talk that they're thinking about giving him.
Jeremy Renner's fine, but that's the problem. I said he's fine. You know, he's okay. He's.
Well, unfortunately, like he's only in the Avengers, and like so he gets basically the.
No, but I've
the
always
side-
thought that about Jeremy Renner. Like he's acceptable. He's not a bad actor. He's just not standoutish.
So I think the two characters that I gave were
The
Question, which I love.
I've
him
heard that
because he's
actually
like
before.
Batman without money.
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember what he was.
Because he's for people who don't know, he's the character who's in like a long trench coat and a fedora, so he looks like a detective out of the 50s, but he wears a mask that makes him not have a face.
Yeah.
And his superpower is basically that he's insane. Because
He's Rorschach.
He sees conspiracies everywhere, but he's the only one
Dr.
in the
Fate.
DC universe who makes certain connections, and there are times the entire universe comes down to him because he's the only person crazy enough to realize that this was actually happening.
That would be cool.
Dr. Fate would be.
Dr. Fate would be a fantastic one. They hinted that in the Constantine show, and I'm so mad that guy.
We never
that
watched
guy
the
missed.
Constantine show.
That was
We did the
guy
little
that they got to
crossover
play-
on Arrow, or who? What? I think it was on Arrow.
That was after the show was canceled.
Yes,
because they were testing.
But he was great.
Do we want to take that? And it's like, yes, you do. Bring Constantine back. That was so good. The story that the roundabout story that they were using was kind of weak.
Yeah.
For it, but the guy that got to play him was fucking phenomenal. He was so good. It was just perfect.
Hawkgirl should probably get her own. That'd be good.
I don't care for Hawkgirl.
Getting to the second character that I mentioned, there's also a new thing to check out that'll be coming out hopefully fairly soon. I don't know what the exact release date is. Justice League Dark. It's a new animated movie that follows the Justice League Dark, which was a short run comic series about a branch off of the Justice League that handled paranormal threats, specifically paranormal threats, and it was like Madame Xanadu, Constantine, Zatanna. The character that I mentioned was getting his own movie, and I don't know if he could probably stand in his own movie, but I'd like to see him in something because I'd love to see him in live CG. Is Jason Blood or Etrigan, the demon?
Yeah,
would be just awesome to get to see. He has to speak in rhymes. That's where his power comes
from.
So it would be weird and kind of cheesy, but I would love to see him.
But if you make it cheesy on purpose, it'll work. You know, if you read it.
Or if you make it just dark as hell and you throw him in, he can't have his own stuff. There's not enough there for him to be his own character.
Yeah.
But he could be a wonderful side character. But Justice League Dark is coming out. He's supposed to be in that, but it's like it's got Swamp Thing in it.
I feel like that would go.
It's
completely
a
wrong.
weird series, and it's got a bunch of the mystical characters that
with his rhyming, I feel
do
like
their own thing.
I feel like he'll get they'll probably throw in a cheesy. Rhyme
it'll get too kitty cartoony almost.
I can't remember what the full backstory for him is, but I know that he in the newer the one that we grew up with, the Justice League there. He's in a couple episodes of that when Morgan Le Fay comes back and she's trying to raise Camelot to put her son on the throne. He shows up to help them because he fights the supernatural threats, and it's like him and Batman teamed up for an episode. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, DC they seem like
Fox just
they're not letting fans write these scripts. It's just like people they'll take it and
needs to let go of DC.
Yeah.
Chuck it out there and be like, you do whatever you
Well, they have their hands in the pie too much. They want to control everything, and with Marvel, you have one guy that oversees everything. Yes, I mean it's a pyramid, but Kevin Feige's like, nope, this is what we're doing. So and
that's a great way of doing it. You got one person who gets to make sure that everything ties together.
Exactly.
And they're not worried about mass appeal necessarily. They're not trying to whitewash everything to make sure that it's got. That was probably not the right term. That's the thing that does happen, but they're not trying to wash everything out to make it appeal for everybody. They're making Marvel's making the movies, and if Guardians of the Galaxy was a great one for that. They made the movie. I think that part of the success of that came from the fact that Marvel shoved it down everybody's throat for 2 years.
Oh yeah, but I mean
everywhere. But they made the movie as they were going to make it. They made it for people who were fans of it, and other people liked it. The sales of that comic book went up after that.
Oh yeah,
massive.
Well, a lot of people didn't even know what it was until.
And that's the thing is they took a thing that people would enjoy and that had a loyal fan
which
base,
is smart.
And they made a movie that would
appeal to those
people. And other people enjoyed that movie because they made a cohesive movie.
Exactly. They made a comic book movie.
Yeah. I think whenever a new DC movie comes out, then Marvel just shits all over because it doesn't do that well. Because that's what I feel like. We're gonna one up you.
This is how it's supposed to be done, guys.
Oh, you guys come out with Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad? Doctor Strange. I'm like, what?
Well, I remember even the movies that people aren't super excited about. Ant-Man had a lot of people really up in the air on it because it's going to be kind of weird, and it was solid. It was a good movie.
It was very good, solid movie.
It was funny.
And it didn't need to be it didn't need to be phenomenal, but it introduced the character. They were going to use him later on. It was a good standalone movie, and you could make another one. It introduced
a couple of characters because it also
introduced That's true. Yeah,
that's kind of a
right. All right. Well, on that note, we're going to end our little video podcast. You're watching Cinema and Save Points. I am Tony.
I'm Mike.
I'm James.
Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Leave a comment down below of what you thought. Would you like to see more of these? We're working on possibly doing a live stream version of this on Twitch or possibly YouTube live streaming. If not, we'll see how that goes. We will see you guys later.